fairly strong lane just to be able to spam out your abilities pretty frequently. And then Broodmother, again, it's just such a fast-paced hero that I think Chen's going to have a totally fine time. So, yeah, I'm going to be favoring Supernova once again. You would have to argue that they were in a position to be able to win that game number 2 and not even be in this situation. But you know what? You got to provide respect at all stages. And you know what? Maybe they were just a little bit less respectful with, the wrong hero going on the front lines one too many times.
Yep, a bit of positioning errors, a bit of underestimating the Morphling, a bit of over-exaggerating on the hero build in the late game as well to kind of give yourself this awkward situation where, yeah, they just ended up dropping the ball. And then, of course, the whole buybacks versus chasing, and then it gets confusing in the late game, and sometimes you struggle to remember where it all starts. Like, who was the first buyback that started the chain reaction, which is really the source of all of this shenanigans, and it's hard to judge, but CSJ has been taken out here as he's a little bit too far forward, goes for the wind run, but unfortunately, there is a throwback that dispos from the Marcy. CSJ, though, he's going to survive through it, and actually they're looking for a return kill, and instead, it is going to be Winter that goes down instead. They do finish off the kill into CSJ, however, Han's going to take a ton of damage in response to this, and he is a mid laner as well, so Cicada, with this dagger, is going to just constantly be pummeling into Han now to try and keep him low, and try and push him off this lane. So this is a bit of a problem here for the Timbersaw. They will give him a couple of tangos just to try and make his life a little bit easier, but yeah, it's tough.
It is, and I mean, Cholo was in position for a perfect eliminate, but you'd have to say the Blinding Light is just as valuable for a big fight where everyone's looking to commit like that. I mean, any time that you've got 5 heroes on top of a Tusk, the Tusk is always going to be able to get super value out of that tag team. And you know what, CSJ still ends up dying, but like you said, First Blood being given over to Big Brain is going to put him in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, I mean, usually getting First Blood doesn't really affect you so much. If you've already gotten a kill, then it's kind of a little bit worse because you then lose a little bit of gold, but most of the time at the start of the game, you don't really care too much about being First Blood. It's more about whoever gets the First Blood and who can start the lane with a bang. And, you know, the Tusk can be an annoying hero, to be fair. Like, he can scale and start beating people up. So we'll see what he's able to do with his advantage. So far, it looks like he's just kind of invested in a bit more regen and not really turning it into any big, meaningful items in the lane. Hasn't gone for, like, an early Oov change-up or something like that, which maybe could have been cool, but yeah, just opts to go for more regen and make sure they survive through this laning phase, because Coddle and Marcy can be a bit beastly. Marcy always offer kills threat with any laning partner.
All right, I'm just checking if Supernova have enough regen on their other heroes, because Chola's basically bought out the entire shop stock of tangos. Like, they actually cannot buy any more, even if they wanted to. He'd bought 2 sets for himself. It's important, right? Because you need to be in a position to be able to do things like go up into where the Tusk has pulled this lane. Really don't see too much of this these days just because of the change in orientation of where the small camps are, in that it's much harder to get these sorts of pulls off. But against any lane that doesn't have stuns, you're always going to be in a pretty good spot to be able to make this happen. He should be okay.
Yeah, I can't believe that... yeah, those ice shards actually blocked him off there, but nevertheless, he's going to be okay and start chewing through those tangos. Yeah, interesting. Okay, well, that's going to be the top lane kind of split at the moment. Meanwhile, down at bottom, we've got TZ and God King laning up in their Silencer and Morphling combination. Feels like it could be a pretty weak lane, I'll be honest. I think this Morphling might be finding himself in the jungle a little bit sooner than maybe planned, but we'll see. I don't know if you know, but me and T-Governor are now the biggest Silencer haters in the world. We've seen like 5 games of Silencer. Oh, okay. And he TP's out and leaves his Morphling alone. Oh, he's actually right just back to the tower behind it. Yeah, 5 games of Silencer. I'm pretty sure every single one has lost and just fed violently throughout the entire game. So, yeah, we have no belief in this hero whatsoever.
I mean, its role this game is pretty simple, right? Like, whenever you make the jump, just prevent the Shadow Demon or the Coddle from being able to make the save happen. That's pretty much it. You know, you want to be able to commit onto Timbersaw or the Marcy and just ensure that they're not going to be able to get back to safety, either with a rebound or a Timber Chain.
Yeah, for sure. But I think Marcy's a different hero now than she used to be, where she can just build this Manta and not feel bad about it because she's universal, so...
Yeah.
it already feels like there's kind of an answer there already. And then, of course, you can get BKB on Marcy as well, which you probably want regardless. So if you're going for a hard commit, you can pop that instead. Or, you know, if you've already used one, you can then use the other. Yeah. I'm not a fan.
Yeah, they don't have, like, too many sources of, like, I guess, consistent stun coming through. Like, again, you've got the... you're probably going to get Demonic Cleanse this game. If you go Aghanims, it also provides a basic Dispel, which you probably are as a position 1 Marcy, just to be able to provide that reduction in cooldown to the Unleash, as well as, again, Universal, so lots of stats. That's going to really benefit you. Nothing too much is different, though, from this first game. Maybe if Winter ends up going down, and they're actually doing this with just CSJ. Rotation coming through on the bottom side of the map from Tusky Dusky, but the lane's just in too good of a position for Chen to be punished all that heavily, unless he goes too far forward. But look at Sheep, once again, on point with the positioning.
Yeah, use the disruption onto the Tusk to make sure this tag team can't keep on going. And unfortunately, he did go for the Ice Shards rather than the Snowball, which means that he's completely useless when it comes to shutting down the Broodmother if he can't use his tag team. Broodmother's just going to walk straight through those shards.
You see that? They fortified when he's trying to use Insatiable Hunger to regen. That's so cool.
Yeah, that's actually super BM.
They're really committing.
Dude, if he dies here, he's going to feel so sad. I think he's going to be all right, though. He's got himself a Lotus, so... a little bit of a delicious Lotus snack. You enjoy Lotus root down? Oh! They go top. They get the kill. Down goes Winter. All right.
I mean, they know that the Coddle TP down here, so why not? 2v1 sort of situation. He was already doing a good job in like a 1v2 situation on CSJ, so he's the one that's actually been making a lot of work happen up on this top side of the map, and we can even just see here Tusk looking to once again potentially make that rotation back towards the bottom side. You know, the lane's starting to push in a little bit. You won't have the glyph to be able to provide that same sort of insatiable hunger block that you did previously, but with 3 heroes, you're probably going to be able to get a kill once again.
Yeah, I'm enjoying this so far from the side of Big Brain. Like, they're playing much more fluidly in the lanes, which I feel like a lot of these Div 2 teams have struggled with when it comes to really enabling their own game. The Snowball connects. Is that going to enable the kill for them? I think it is. Tag team's there. The damage is through. Another kill. This Tusk is looking absolutely magnifique.
He's playing a great game this time around. And once again, I feel like the thing that Big Brain have done a lot better, even just in the first 6 minutes of this game, is understand where exactly Sheep is positioned. You know, like, if he's not in the lane because of this deep observer ward that they placed down, they know that he's building up stacks. I mean, he's done it 3 games in a row, and I'm sure that, you know, someone would have been watching the games as they were going on and giving them little tips of, you know, this is how he likes to play every single time around. So they will at least get off the D ward now, gives them some valuable XP and some money.
Yeah.
But I'm just wondering, like, when is the state where Chen can actually look to just stay down here on his own?
Ooh, Marcy jumps forwards just as Cicada TP's in. This might be a big mistake. No Sonic Wave. Oh, she's holding the point. No, she's not holding the point. Doesn't have Sonic Wave. But yeah, not needed. Can just finish the job regardless. Oh, that was unfortunate. Just went in for the rebound just as the TP completes from Cicada. And now level 6 on CSJ, level 4 on Marcy. This is just an absolute disaster up on the top side of the map. Sheep, meanwhile, trying to fight up into the Tusk, who went to try and find Sheep as Sheep was going for the Wisdom Rune. And he's able to steal it as well, and now he's able to finish the job. This is actually a breakneck speed being set by the side of Big Brain. And, you know, you asked the question, why Tusk? What is it set to do? Well, this is exactly it. Whilst that, as you say, the Shadow Demon, he's been making stacks every single game. They've got a great read on how he's going to play this laning phase, and Tusk is just absolutely abusing the fact that he is just not going to be here. He's won 2 of the side lanes at this point. What more can he do? Well, we're about to find out. As Han's looking for the rotation down here, is there any counterplay to be made, or can they just retreat from this? And honestly, oh, great little adaptive strike coming out there from God King, but he's still taking a ton of damage. I'm so surprised that the Tusk and the Silencer are just completely bailing. Like, give the guy an Arcane Curse at the very least, TZ.
Yeah, I thought he maybe might have laid out the Ice Shards, you know, just to stop them from running at them. Yeah.
Well, that's just bad mannered at this point. Well, even in the top lane, they will get another kill onto Winter.
That's why they wanted to get the turnaround kill.
Yeah, Silencer just came and watched that. He didn't use any spells.
+2.
Okay, +2. I can't help you. I have to go and get my +2. Sorry. Goodbye.
My people need me.
Yeah. it's whatever. They're really far ahead. They can afford to have a couple of slip-ups. Worth mentioning as well that when it comes to actual CS, the Timbersaw is actually in the lead, followed by the Broodmother. So, you know, the kills are definitely making it up for Big Brain. But, yeah, when it comes to actual laning, you know, they didn't get completely stomped on the side of Supernova. In fact, things are pretty even as it stands. The only problem is there's no mid tower.
took the mid-tier 1 tower at like 7 minutes as well. So, like, he is getting plenty of farm for himself again, even building up his own stacks. Once again, just looking to play around with the rest of the team. You've even moved Marcy to mid just so that she can get into that level 6 for herself. That's a big kill, though. Being able to land it in. TZ looks like he should be able to survive, unless...
That was like, the horse was just like, it could have licked him before it disappeared.
The old salt lick.
Yeah.
He would have been salty if he died.
Would have been. He is now salt-free. He's the low-calorie version of Silencer at the moment.
They are committing very heavily down towards this bottom side of the map. Still haven't taken the ancient stack here on the Timbersaw, so maybe that's where he's going to look to put a little bit more of his priority. I think he realizes that, you know what, I've had a good lane, but it's not good enough for me to just have a lane. My other cores not having quite as free of a time, so I need to build up into this Vanguard. It's going to get my damage a little bit, but it's really just about making sure that there's enough space for my Marcy to even begin to scale. Like, she's level 6 now. And going straight into the Aghanim Scepter as well, but until you reach that point, you're feeling pretty ineffective overall.
Interesting build-up. So yeah, going straight for the Ags, obviously universal hero, so it does give you a lot of damage in that regard. And one of these high-scaling universal heroes as well, so yeah, we'll see how much that's able to give the Marcy in terms of effectiveness in the fights. But again, it's pretty much all about just trying to trade with this Morphling, but the Ags is going to give them the ability to silence up the Queen of Pain as well, so we'll see what it does. We'll see how big of an impact it has.
They see Winter moving up towards the top side, and again, like with where these supports are going, they can always just take the Twin Gate there if they really want to. They've still got a tier 1 tower to be able to make plays around with, and you've nearly got the level 6 as well on TZ. So he's going to be able to have that global silence to prevent even some responses from coming through. Looks like they might just sit mid, get this level 6 up really quickly on TZ, and maybe they're even going to go for a smoke with the 3 of them.
The friendship group. They are showing him bottom though. This might just be a tower push. You've got the Coddle here to make sure it's pretty easy. Let's see.
They're backing him up though.
Yeah. In they come. Big Brain moving on down. Oh, if they come into Chen first, that's going to be the ideal target. Although they need to catch off the backlines actually. They need to deal with Sheep and they know that. So they're going for the big wraparound.
Oh, they're going to be able to get
that's awkward.
That Observer Ward removed as well. They already had a Sentry Ward placed down to prevent any sort of Ancient Camp blocks, and you've got to say that they're getting a good amount of farm off the back of this. Actually, Winter.
Oh, not again, not again. Marcy trying to get away, but won't be able to escape the wrath. God King grabs that kill as Marcy goes down yet again. Without looking how many deaths on this Marcy. Straight up, tell me.
It's unfortunate that I have her selected at this time, so I know.
Unlucky. 5 is a big number for a carry. That's what you want to end a 60-minute game with, not 12 minutes in. But Brood, she's going to get ruffled, and Sheep and Chola can do nothing against the global silence. The saves will not be coming through from them at this point in time. CSJ now looking for a +1 shackle shot available in 1 second. Who's going to be the target? Sheep probably going to be it. They just need to bring down this boy, and they got, oh my god, the point blank scream to the face. I mean, he's going to get punished for that one. Winter finds a kill, tries to get another, but the TP is successful. So we'll be left wanting on the Marcy, but still going to be happy about grabbing that kill onto the Queen. That's a big recovery kill for the Marcy. Shoots her up in net worth just a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. It's a 2-for-1 kill, and most of the time you're pretty unhappy about that, but they were having such a difficult time taking this bottom tower. This is going to open up so much more space for Winter to be able to farm. Of course, Broodmother as well is one of those heroes that can just take over a side of the map, but that's the Broodmother going like the full auras build. The way to build Broodmother these days, at least in my opinion, is this full-on stats. You know, you are a legitimate extra carry that abuses an enemy lineup that has supports that aren't necessarily the greatest at clearing out creep waves. And you'd have to say Silencer, Tusk, probably not the best. You know, Tusk, it gets a little better once he's like level 15, but up until that point, has a lot of difficulty.
Yeah, there's like peaks and troughs for Tusk for sure. There's points where he's the strongest hero in the game and points where he feels like the weakest. Like, it just depends on how you're doing and how your team's doing, what items you're heading towards. But he's going to get a good timing on this blink at the very least.
You think they want to put focus onto the Radiant jungle with all those scribbles going through there? I think they're just saying, look, we cannot look to give them any kind of free farm. Winter actually went away from the Ags. He's going into the Battle Fury first, which it makes sense. Maybe they feel like off the back of that fight, you know, they were able to take one successfully. They were able to get a valuable kill onto this Quap and really rocket up his farm that he's going to have the space. And, you know, even once it gets into the later stages, are they going to be able to kill this Morphling? That is still my main question here. And I'm not sure if the answer is yes.
It's a big question. I think the Marcy can kind of just pummel him, and he'll just kind of be forced to go full strength pretty early on in the fights.
But you have the snowball
that,
save, right? So. Like, you don't necessarily need to have that. You're going to be able to have a response. And they're, outside of the Marcy, they are severely lacking in stuns. Like, they have disruption, which you are not using aggressively 90% of the time.
Yeah.
So it's really all on Winter.
True.
Even just the Quap and the Wind Ranger to a lesser extent have a, I was about to say free game off the back of that. You're still having to contend with this Demonic Purge as well. That Sheep, once again, standard build, Aether Lens into the Aghanim Scepter after that, building up more stacks to be able to enable that for his team. What's the levels looking like? Everyone's got their ultimates, but once again, Wisdom Runes being left alone for a minute. You would have to say that, you know, this is something that the Timbersaw would love to have. You know, he's about to reach onto his level 12, but you could just become by far the strongest hero in this game off the back of a few extra levels.
Yeah, he can be an absolute menace. And still yet to see the Aghanim's Rush kind of build going for this the Kaya into the Sange. Everything but the Yasha. And we'll see what he opts for.
Makes a lot more sense this game, in my opinion. The Aghanims, you know, previously they had ways to be able to get rid of the
shield, the barrier,
shield immediately. Yeah, the barrier.
That's called.
Oracle shouted him in previously, but this time around, until you get like a nullifier on CSJ, you're not going to have that similar sort of tool. I'm actually going to go for a smoke here with the creep wave quite close to the tower, maybe hoping to try and find a quick pick off onto Han, but he wasn't farming underneath the vision at the time. Once again, Sheep's just in a really good spot.
Yeah, Blink Reveal coming out from him.
Global, they will.
Yeah, they just want to bring this guy down. He's pretty damn far. I mean, he got a haste rune, but not able to escape. Beautifully done by the side of Big Brain. I'm actually so surprised that he didn't escape with a haste rune, but yeah, they just land some really nice shards, land some really nice control, and they get the kill.
I'm even a little surprised that this Siege Creep's still alive in the mid lane at 16.5 minutes, so it should be a very simple task to be able to take out this tower. Of course, once again, plus side, if you're going to go this legitimate trio core, you've got the Broodmother farming, you've got the Marcy who was able to get into the Battle Fury, she's farming, so you're going to have these like recovery mechanisms, you know, that you're going to be able to play around with.
And they're going to need them, because they are dying. That said, TZ did actually fall during that fight, just eaten alive by little baby spiders. Horrifying death.
Spiderlings and the Spiderites.
Yep. Imagine that's how you die, just being eaten from the feet up by little spiders.
I live in Australia.
Away at you. Oh yeah, true. That's a daily occurrence for you.
Mm-hmm.
You forget your insect repellent, then it's over.
It's over.
Yeah.
Apparently, Ares casting shed is like infested with them, and I'm like, bruh, I'm never doing a dual cast live with you in your studio.
Are you guys in the same city?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Oh yeah, you guys post little selfies on Twitter. You're getting ice cream all the time. I knew that.
He's not as much of a fanatic as me, unfortunately.
He's not?
Also, he's a bit of a zoomer.
He is a bit of, yeah, too busy on.
Can they contest this Roshan quickly enough? Spiders have given them the information on it.
There. Yeah, Chola jumps in, tries to push him away, but there's the Aegis in the hands of God King and TP out. He wants to take his cake and run home with it, and that's exactly what he's going to do. They just clean, just bug out. Yeah, I mean, sure, you lose CSJ for that, but like, kind of worth. You get the Aegis. I think in this kind of game, the tempo which they're looking for on Big Brain is kind of more about just taking the Aegis out of the hands of Supernova. I think especially Marcy, who could have just used that Aegis to just farm really aggressively and safely and then hit some proper timings. So Instead, she's still going to be a little bit behind the mark. I'm not going to have that available to her. And this is going to slow the game down a lot, even more for Supernova, I should say.
It might even... Oh, actually, there's a really early-ish Blink Dagger that the Tusk is able to get. I mean, I guess that's what happens when you're 2-0 and 9. But, you know, conversely to what you were saying, it's going to enable God King to play just that little bit more aggressively. You know, this is a game where you will see value out of the Skadi up against the Insatiable Hunger, the Sidekick, the Timber Saw. Great against all three of those heroes, as well as providing that extra layer of survivability for yourself. And, you know, they've previously used the Global Silence aggressively to be able to confirm a kill onto one of these cores. If you're going to have the Morphling playing aggressively, you can save it just to be able to save him, because they're not at a point yet where anyone has any kind of way to be able to get rid of that Global. Almost has the Manta completed on the Broodmother, but really doesn't feel like Chen wants to be that hero that's hunting the Morphling.
Yeah, it's definitely... I mean, he could have gone for that job if he wanted it, but it seems like he kind of pivoted in another direction, you know? Like, there was a weighted job available. He's like, nah, I want to be back at kitchen. Give me this Manta. Kind of wants to be... I don't really know what he's been. Just kind of a support killer with Phylactery and Manta.
I mean, it just gives him a nice way to be able to very quickly shove out lanes as well. I mean, the slow feels quite nice as well, just to be able to enable your Marcy and the Timber Saw off the Phylactery. And, you know, a little bit of extra regen while you're out on the map feels pretty cool too. You know, you don't need to go into that Soul Ring build or anything like that.
Yeah, that's true.
Got that Manta completed.
Wow. Phylactery gives 0.7 mana regen.
Used to give 0. So it's a Sage's Mask build up into it. So
yeah, I guess you don't lose the benefit of the mask for no reason. Makes sense, but give it 1 at least, but...
You'd be surprised how much that adds up over time, though. As really, it feels like its mission, don't lose too much of our map for Supernova for now. Chola, he's standing pretty close to the high ground when they don't exactly have the greatest vision there. I was thinking maybe he might, you know, choose to stand a little bit closer to the Tormentor position, both to be able to secure that 21-minute Wisdom Rune, as well as keep the lane shoved out. I have to be very careful with their positioning, and this is what I was talking about.
Yeah. Tusk has taken it upon himself to be the sheep killer, and they will bring down that sheep mutton for dinner as Morphling running through, looking for more, using this Aegis to play super aggressively into the faces of Supernova. But they've been beaten around and thrown around and dragged away from his team at the moment. I mean, have they displaced him enough? The big brain can't actually help him out here. Let's see. I mean, Shikada doesn't actually have an ultimate player, but at the same time, just a waveform. The Manta are also available for him as well. It doesn't feel like they actually have the resources to take down this Morphling a second time, so he's going to be able to escape, and that's going to be the reset. So kind of a weird usage of the Aegis there, I suppose. Just a very aggressive fight where they get like the one killed, and yeah, not really sure I'm loving that.
I mean, getting a buyback out of Sheep feels pretty significant, right? Because not only does it mean if he dies again, out of commission for quite some time, but really slows down that Aghanim Scepter timing too. So, you know, considering you're going up against this, you don't want to have the ability to slow down both your Wind Ranger and the Morphling, for example, off the back of it. You don't want to be able to double cast it to be able to break the Lincolns. The more key thing for me is, like, I feel like that fight goes so much better if Winter has a better early game and is able to get into that Aghanim Scepter just a little bit sooner, because he's closing in on it, just 600 gold away. And once he has that, of course, the silence coming through from the Unleash is going to be incredibly impactful. They might have found Shadow Demon again.
Yeah, I want to see that. Yeah, Sheep dying without buyback here by the looks of it. Let's see if the team are able to come in and help him out, but no, they will not be able to do so. And the power shot is the thing which takes him out. Well, Winter looking for more, trying to find his next target. Still doesn't have that axe, so doesn't quite have the chasing potential he would really like. And a beautiful shackle from CSJ might just keep him alive. Throw down the Gleipnir as well. And now the Wind Run comes off cooldown. CSJ trying to make it to safety. TZ backing him up as well. Throwing down that Arcane Curse and stopping Hand from being able to chase any further. And that'll be that in the bottom lane. So Sheep does die.
So much space.
Ooh, look at this. Top lane. Does to finish off the tower. Waveform away. And yeah, they can't keep chasing this.
No,
Marcy,
they've avoided like the past.
Queen.
Yeah, they've avoided the past 3. Make the stack. I guess he wants to take the mid farm. Makes sense, I suppose.
Oh, Chola. Thought he'd escaped, but then there's just a Queen of Pain on his face. And it's always sad.
I mean, we talk about the impact of Aghanim Scepters. I mean, Quops now feels like almost one of the best ones in the game.
It really is, yeah.
Such a big increase in damage. You're able to shove waves out safely, you know, just toss a Shadow Strike, go back to farming somewhere else. You can use it every 4 seconds, so not only does your farming speed pick up, your kill threat is so huge in these longer fights. I mean, it provides everything that you could possibly want.
Yeah, and Queen of Pain, the biggest problem I have with it is that, well, I guess like the biggest appreciation I have of it is that Queen of Pain typically has been a very kind of burst-heavy hero. You jump in, you blow your kit. Oh, hold on, we got a Brood being beaten up down in the bottom side, but it looks like he's able to just step over those shards as usual. And now looking for the counter-aggression. The team's coming in behind him. The cavalry is galloping from the distance here, and well, Supernova's, the Snowball's gonna buy him a little bit of time, but he is gonna die. And now they're immediately looking for more. TZ's gonna be the next target. They're even gonna throw down the ultimate upon him just to make sure they get that kill. Holy moly, that's a lot of damage. Down he goes.
They'll be able to really chunk through this tower. It was a little early on the use of the glyph, actually, so for both teams. So I'm not sure if, the full creep wave isn't going to be able to be destroyed. Means the backdoor is still going to be there. And, well, Morphling not able to deal too much damage up onto that top side, but at least it's going to force a more defensive movement. But you know what? Unleash, it was off cooldown anyway, so don't even need to continue moving forward. Again, that's one of the advantages of playing this Marcy with the Aghanim Scepter. Once you reach level 18, there's very little downtime to it, just the 20 or so seconds. And, you know, honestly, the same sort of thing could be said for all of their heroes. You know, the Broodmother, 25-second. No, not even downtime. Insatiable Hunger would last for 16 seconds, and it's got a 25-second cooldown. So 9-second downtime. You've got a Coddle, refreshing Timbers cooldowns as well. They are really approaching a position where they can just press go.
Yeah, they don't need to lay off the brakes at all. They can just put a brick on the accelerator and jump out the car.
Mm-hmm. It's really gonna depend on who is the one to find the initiation, though, right? Because God King, he's approaching his BKB. Some people might say his build is very defensive, but they've got a lot of burst as well on Supernova, and it's gonna get even more worrisome once the Timbersaw is able to finish up this Scythe of Vice as well. You know, just to be able to find that quick jump. You can go like Aghanim Shard on the Morphling to be able to, provide a little bit of safety for stuns, but they don't exactly have a ton of stuns. And you got to remember that it's a silence as well as a stun for the Scythe of Vice, so won't actually be able to get that strength buff off during that duration.
Yeah, it's a big kind of factor of why they went for this as well, and the kind of game plan from them. That's what it leads up to. But as I was saying earlier about the Queen of Pain, one of this Ag's changes about the heroes that the fact that Queen of Pain throughout time has always just been a very bursty hero. You jump in, you blow your entire kit on 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, preferably 5 heroes.
There's a big spider.
No, I will finish my point. Now she can do damage over time, and it's really neat. Anyway, Chen fails to get the kill. Yeah, TZ gets out safe and sound. Roshan still going to be 2 minutes until respawning, so... What time? Is that going to be one of those awkward respawns where it's like on the 10? No, it's not. They'll still have a minute.
2 minutes.
2 minutes to take it out. Easy peasy.
Yeah.
Right,
yeah, I mean, it's just so much more of a consistent damage source. I have seen Queen of Pains do literally 60,000 damage in a single team fight.
What?
Yep.
Okay, that doesn't sound like a common thing that happens, but that seems like an extreme example. But yeah, the fact that you can now do that as Queen of Pain is kind of insane. Like the previous iterations of this hero could never. Chola gonna get snowballed up. The Global Sun's coming through as well as they take down the Coddle, but he's just gonna buy back into the fight straight off the bat. Meanwhile, Morphling just trying to fight into the Marcy here. I mean, Marcy, let's see if the plan actually works. All the disruption is actually there. Yeah, let's see if that makes a difference. No, it's not. The waveform comes through, take down the Master regardless. The Morphling, he's too damn strong right now as he's able to rip through the forces off Supernova. What can they do? Chen trying to jump back into this one. Maybe a bit of damage coming the way of Tusk will grab them. That kill certainly will, but Morphling, he's on top of the Coddle in the backlines, but it's Cicada and CSJ taking down Han. It's pretty much a wipe for the side of Big Brain. This might be the turning point of the game. This might be the point where Supernova are no longer in control.
No, and I talked about how it's all about the initiation, right? Like the Tusk not wanting to just go up into the unknown, just goes straight for the high ground, going to give them vision, doesn't care if it gets dewarded mid-fight, it's still standing just because of how much it enabled them to just roll in onto the key heroes, the ones that are squishy. The Coddle provides so much safety off the back of the Parvis, off the back of the Blinding Light, off of the back of the Mech, the Force Staff. Forces a buyback, still gets the kill onto him at the end of the day. And, I mean, it really just is, can you hone in on the right target? Instant pop of the Global Silence as well, as soon as that one was done. And, well, speaking of the Global, you can have Manta to be able to respond to it, but Refresher Orb is the next item being built up by TZ on his Silencer, and he's getting pretty damn close.
Yeah, that's going to be big.
The recipe's kind of expensive these days, 2,600.
Yeah. That's ridiculous. Worth noting as well that Sheep has actually realized here that he could no longer play the game he wants to play. The Sansa pick has answered him really, really nicely. He's now forced to go for a Lotus. Now, as Nova approach the pit, they will not be here even remotely in time, and they don't want to do what they did twice last game, and that is throwing the game by taking a post-Roche fight when the enemy already has the Aegis. So
Well, maybe they do. Careful.
Maybe I'm wrong. They're going to go in here. This is kind of insane to me, but let's see how it works out. Marcy just following the Silencer and actually unable to finish the job. This is really awkward, but yeah, they do kill off the Silencer. Okay, they kill off the Wind as well. Not bad, but can they fight out into the Marcy? Yes, they can. The Marcy just gets taken out, but they do bring down the Aegis alongside with it. Catching him out there with a couple of punches and silencing him up. Caught in the full Agi mode, and yeah, they'll move on to Chen now. The Tusk jumping in, committing hard with that long shard, catching multiple heroes inside of it, just setting the Morphling up for the full cleanup here. He's able to get a triple. God King is godlike.
Oh, yeah, a little bit of an odd choice, especially considering you should probably know that they had vision on that high ground. The D-War just came in a little bit too late. Once again, Coddle dies at the start of the fight, not able to get the mech off. And, I mean, it really just is a snowball effect from there. No pun intended, but Tusk is playing an amazing game.
Yeah, he's owning. Snowballs left, right, and center, just breaking up the fights, delaying them long enough for the Morphling to come back into it. And yeah,
but he's been part of 23 out of the 25 kills.
Sheesh, that's nuts. My guy's playing some Dota today. You love to see it. I have to say, and we said this fight is weird. This fight is very weird. For me, this is a lack of confidence from the side of Supernova. You know, like these guys are saying, we're afraid to play the map into an Aegis. We don't think our heroes or, you know, we're comfortable doing that. So we just want to take these Hail Mary fights instead. It's a crazy choice, but that's all it can be, right? Because any other team, or most other teams would, except maybe like Old G or something, would just be like, yeah, we'll just tank the fact that we lost an Aegis. You know, yeah, we don't have a great late game advantage, but that's our best shot at turning this game around, is just to play the map into Aegis. And yeah, they're looking. They want the Marcy.
Well, you found him.
They certainly did. He's going to try and he's trying to turn around for the kill here, my friend. My friendly friend. Yeah, just hoping maybe that the Queen of Pain was alone and was waiting for the team to TP in or something. But yeah, that's not going to happen.
Not gonna happen indeed. At least was able to get the level 18 before popping the Unleash, so by the time she respawns, absolutely will be available, starting the purchase in towards the BKB as well, just to provide that extra layer of protection. And yeah, like you were saying, with Sheep, it's going to be so vital for him to live in a lot of these fights, right? He's going the Glimmer Cape just to make sure that he's able to be part of these fights.
That's so sad. He's like so optimistic at the start. I'm going to get my Aghanim Scepter. This is going to be a great game. And he's like, oh dear, I can't use my spells. I think I need to get a Lotus Orb. And I was like, okay, I'm never getting a Lotus Orb. I'm going to go for the Glimmer. Chola might have taken a step too far forward here. Certainly has. They'll get themselves another kill up into the high ground. It doesn't seem like anything can stop this Morphling right now as he's looking for target after target, and Sheep's going to get pulled down as well. A look over towards the Spider, and they will take every single one of his 8 legs off one at a time as they lose Chen as well. They just go from kill to kill to kill. When they smell the blood, they find it. I mean, how do you play against this, Danog?
Well, I'm going to look for any sort of silver linings here, right? You're going to lose this lane of Rax. You might even lose top as well. Maybe they're just going to go through mid instead. But Timbersaw has finally spent his gold. He spent so long with like 5,000 gold holding on to. So even though he had this 16,000 net worth, he effectively had less than the Tusk.
But here we go, that big Hex coming into play. And he hexes the Tusk, which does absolutely nothing to save his teammates. So, yeah, that was a carry dead, by the way. So that's probably the game-ending moment. Sorry it wasn't that exciting for you guys, but that's just kind of how this one ended, you know? So they just got too strong. The plan didn't work. The Marcy was too slow, couldn't find the timings. And I think a big part of it as well was just this Tusk in the laning phase, just absolutely dominating them. Honestly, like, yeah, Fish God, he's definitely my MVP to date in this game.
Oh, absolutely.
Unless anything crazy happens.
With the 3-2-2-4 scoreline.
Nice. You'd love to see it for the fans.
Love to see him get the initiation onto Han again. Look at all this damage that he's able to do in combination with God King, and he really felt like the last-ditch effort that you had. Timbersaw was the only one dishing out any sort of consistent damage in these fights. Looking to try and get a pick-off onto the Tusk, but I mean, Chen is just...
I'm gonna get him.
And you're gonna get nothing.
You're gonna get GG's, that's what you're gonna get. Han calls it, this one's over. Big Brain, you know, they go for the consistent strategy. Supernova, they try something cute. Doesn't work out, credit where credit is due, you know.